Hello there, this is Ethan Thomas showing off my prototype Cobb the Defense 2, which is an expansion on my original prototype Cobb the Defense. The gameplay mechanics are quite simple. The goal is to hit bar and time your hit, the swing of the bat, so that the ball hits the triangle target in the outfield. And once you miss 3 times, you get reset to the main menu, and the goal is to get as high a score as possible. So as you can see, this original version is quite minimalist and bare bones. So here we have my um, improved improved version. And as you can see, this version uses sprites that I obtained from the Unity asset store for one, as well as playing sounds like the one you just heard. So it's a similar idea. You start by pressing space, and then you time your swing to hit the ball so that you hit the glove in the outfield. Now you can already tell this version has a lot more going on. First off, you'll notice that when I make contact with the ball, the screen shakes to give a greater weight to the feeling like you're actually hitting the ball. You also notice that there's some physics going on once you hit the target. Um, Once the ball hits it, it'll move it along using actual physics. And of course, there's an animation, an explosion animation, once you hit it also, that gives you visual indication that you've actually hit your target. And finally, you'll notice that as soon as you make contact with the ball, there's a slight pause to give you the impact and actually see that you've made contact. This, this is part of a technique we learned about in class called um, hit stop / impact freeze. So yeah, and of course the sounds also give you that feeling of impact. So between the sounds, the camera shake on contact, and the hit stop / impact freeze, I believe I've successfully implemented 3 game feel enhancements that give the player a greater sense of um, weight to actually swinging the bat and hitting the target. So now I'll go over how I actually implemented those effects in Unity, which is the engine I chose to remake the game or the original game that was made with processing in. So as you can see, I have my game objects here. Most of the functionality actually takes place in this in a script I wrote for this ball object, this ball move script, which we can see here. Um, so first off, this playing of the sounds. So what I did is I um, made public audio source objects, and then I dragged these sound objects that are matched with a sound file into that correct category in the ball move script. So you can see here I have the different sounds. And then actually in the script, I will call the sounds by playing the sound name dot play on certain collision items. For example, when the ball collides with the target, I play the Wilhelm scream. Um, when the ball collides with the bat, that's when I play the hitting sound. And also when the ball goes out of frame, which means it has missed the target, that's where I play the strike sound. And there's also a sound, play ball, that auto plays on startup. To implement the camera shake when the ball hits the bat, I used and adapted a script I found on GitHub called Camera Shake. So you can find that script here. I'll be sure to cite my source in the description of this video. But essentially how that works is you set your duration and the magnitude of the shake in the Unity editor. And then in the actual ball script that I've already showed already, when we detect a collision with the bat, Then we start a coroutine on the main camera, and we call that shake function that is present in here. And then finally, to implement the freeze frame when the ball makes contact with the bat, which is probably the most complex functionality. I did that in the bat controller script. So once the bat detects collision with a ball, I'll stop the bat, and then in the update script, I'll have the bat waiting and the ball waiting since they're both stopped, and then I'll add time delta continuously in a loop until the timer eventually reaches enough time that the limit I've set, which is in a public variable here. Let's see, where is that? In the bat script here, um, the time delay and the time limit. Once that time is reached, then I'll set the ball waiting to false, and then I'll set the velocity back to what it originally was in the new direction. And the same thing with the bat. Once the timeout has been reached, I'll restart the bat so that it finishes through with its swing. Um, so that's how I achieved the effect of um, the freezing on the bat once the ball makes contact. You'll see there when it's nothing, and then when I swing, it finishes through the swing.